Here we are with week 5 of your 12-week course, The English Way. And how are you getting on with the English rhythm? To be or not to be? That is the question. Hello, Jim. How are you today? Where are we going? Shall we go for a walk? That's the rhythm that the English tend to use. Not, hello, Jim. How are you doing? We don't go up to emphasize a word or a sound in a word. We go down. So we say, hello, Jim. How are you doing? Not, hello, Jim. How are you doing? Because that gives a whole different tune. It's not just the rhythm, to be or not to be, that is the question. It's also the tune. Hello, Jim. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Hello, Jim. How are you doing? Where are we going today? Not, hello, Jim. Where are we going today? That's a whole different tune. So you have to assimilate both the English rhythm and the beat, boom, 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 but also you've got to assimilate the tune, where we go down, and in India, you go up. Now, we spent a lot of time with what I call the primary sounds, the 5 important sounds R, A, E, O, U that come into so many important words. If you have a long sound like R, you can have a short sound like cat, ah, because if you cut off R, you get ah. Now what about the next long sound? A. What happens if you cut off A? You get E, as in get. And then what about the next sound, which is E? What if you cut off E? E. You get I, as in sit. Think about that. These short sounds, they're short versions of the long sounds, but they're very, very important. And then O. What happens with O? Oh, you get O, like in could. And what about oo? You get oo, like in shot. Oh, ooh, oh. So that's the long and the short sounds, and there they are for you to practice them. I like you to try making up some sentences of your own that utilize both the long and the short sounds. You could say, the cat is in the car. You could say, my seat is for me to sit. You could make up little phrases like that and really use these long and short sounds. 2 sounds that I know most Indian speakers find difficult to say because you don't have these sounds, I think, not like this, in Indian languages. And one is W. W sound. W. Yes? Will we work on Wednesday? W. You find that difficult? Well, here's one trick you could try. When you want to say W, what you need to do, first of all, is to pinch yourself on an R. So you say ah, but you pinch yourself in the middle. So I'm going to do it. Ah, oh. Now listen to that again in slow motion. Ah, oh. Ah, oh. Ah, oh. Woo, 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 woo. What's at the end of that pinch? Woo. And you can do woo. Ah, oh. Ah, oh. The lips go to the right place for a W when you do that. And here's another trick to help you with your W, with your W. Have you ever seen what a fish looks like underwater? They do a strange thing with their mouth. They go along like, maybe they're feeding. Can't be breathing, can they? Because they breathe through these gills on the side of their body. That's a fish. So try being a fish. I know it sounds silly, but this works. Because when you are doing that with your mouth, you are forming exactly the right aperture and the right thing that you need with your lips to produce a good W. Look. Put breath behind it. What? You got it. And that's how you've got two ways that you can get a good w. Yes? Would we, watch my mouth, would we work on Wednesday? Bit of a fish, isn't it? Would we work on Wednesday? Great. The other sound that I don't think you have in Indian languages, and certainly most Indians I know have difficulty with it. For rrr. Can you roll your tongue like that? Rrr. Do you know Scottish people are really good at rolling their tongue? Because they say, hello laddie, where are you going to? Where are you going to? They roll the tongue. But it doesn't matter if you can't roll your tongue for an R. Because I'm going to show you a trick that you may find helpful. Do you know, in England, we're so fond of dogs. I mean, we treat them like children, part of the family. We bring them indoors, we put them in bed, we let them get up on our bed. We just love them. And kids love dogs, and they love to play with them. And it's quite different. I know in India, you can get dogs with rabies, and that's very dangerous. Most Indian people I know don't like dogs much because of that. Wild dogs and rabies. It's different in Britain. We don't have rabies. We've never had it. We exclude it. And our dogs are often quite small and very, very attractive. So I want you to think about being a little dog. Could you be a little dog? Now, when a little dog barks, it's quite a small bark, but how does it start? Have you ever thought about how a dog barks? It actually starts with a growl, like ruff, 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 ruff. So think about that. Can you do and let it be a growl. Let it be a growl. Come on. And now into the actual full bark. Ruff, 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 ruff. And you've got an R. Growl, bark, ruff, 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 ruff. And eventually, you can't help saying ruff, ruff, ruff. So, now you can say w and you can say r. And there's a wonderful, famous thing that we use for people to get their R's right. It goes like this. Round the rugged rocks, the ragged rascal ran. Round the rugged rocks, the ragged rascal ran. And when you can say that, then you've really cracked your R. So here's your assignment for this week. Of course, I want you to practice with pinching yourself and doing a W, and being a fish and doing a W. But I also want you to practice your R, being a little dog, growling and ruff, ending up barking with a ruff. And don't forget your word lists. Your word lists will be there in your workbook, as well as on the video, and you'll hear me on the audios also helping you through it. The word lists are important. Get used to the kind of words that have those kind of long and short sounds. So I'll see you next week for number 6, your 6th week in your 12-week course.